Mahabharata came to Southeast Asia during 7th to 14th century. It was used as a medium to convey Indian ideas and Hindu religion. It is expressed through Wayang Kulit performances. There are many statues and sculptures portraying Mahabharata in temples like Angkor Wat. There is a full scene of Samudra Manthan at Suvarnabhumi airport in the capital city of Thailand, Bangkok. This itself shows a great impact of Mahabharata in Southeast Asia. Mahabharata can also be seen in Malay manuscripts. Malay version of Mahabharata came with the performance of old Javanese prose Bharatayuddha. There are three versions of Mahabharata of Malay origin. First and the earliest, Hikayat Perang Pandava Jaya. The tale of the war of the victorious Pandava was composed sometimes between the late 14th and early 16th century. This is the opening page of Hikayat Perang Pandava Jaya with double decorated frames in red, pink and black ink. The second part of the work, entitled Hikayat Pandava Jaya, the tale of the victorious Pandavas, tells the story of the Pandavas' victory in the Great War, and this part is also contained in another manuscript in the British Library. These are the opening lines of Hikayat Pandava Jaya. A third Malay manuscript in the British Library related to the Mahabharata is Hikayat Maharaj Bom, a variant of the story better known as Hikayat Sang Bong or Hikayat Sang Samba. This is the story of 5 Pandav brothers and their families, but the main heroes are Krishna, the earthly incarnation of God Vishnu, which in Sanskrit is known as Vishnu, and his father Basudeva, which in Sanskrit is known as Vasudeva, brother Baladeva, and son Samba Pravirjaya. Hikayat Sangbom was probably composed in the 15th centuries in one of the traditional centers of Javanese Malay cultural contract. The Hindu philosophical ideas which permeate the Sanskrit epics are barely evident in the Malay version. The copy of Hikayat Pandavajaya ends with a brief unfinished syar, of which the first stanzas read, "This is the story of the victorious Pandavas. Whoever reads it, don't believe a word of it. It's full of hopeless lies of glorious imaginary worlds." Duad, the scribe of the manuscript of Hikayat Maharaj Bom, has added the stern abomination, "Don't believe this," to every folio. It was also believed that if one would believe the story, then they would be a sinful person. These are the closing lines of Hikayat Pandavajaya telling readers not to believe in it. Mahabharat, the Javanese version. Bharatayuddha is a term used in Indonesia for the Kurukshetra war and to describe the Javanese translation and interpretation of the Mahabharata. According to the Javanese tradition, the war between descendants of Emperor Bharat was already destined by the gods long before the Pandavas and Kauravas were born. The tradition also maintained that the Kurukshetra battlefield is not located in the present-day Haryana state of India, but rather in Jain Plateau, Central Java. Therefore, the Javanese considered the Mahabharata epic happened in Java and not in India. The Mahabharata was translated into Old Javanese under the reign of King Dharmavangsa of Medang. The current poem was started by Siddha in 1157 and finished by Pu Panulu. There are many differences in the Indonesian Mahabharata and the Old Vedvyas written Mahabharata, like Bhishma visit to the kingdom of Kashi. King Shantanu and Satyavati sends Bhishma to join the Swayamvar in Kashi to win the 3 princesses Amba, Ambika and Ambalika for his 2 younger brothers Chitrangda and Vichitravirya. In the Indian version, Shantanu and Chitrangda are already dead. Next difference is Draupadi Swayamvar. Here, there is no archery competition. The winner of the contest is to be the one who can defeat Pati Ganmansa, uncle of Draupadi, a character introduced in the Indonesian version, in a duel battle. Meanwhile, Kunti and Pandavas decide to join the contest with a purpose to get a wife for Yudhishthir. As Bhim is already a married man, he represents Yudhishthir and defeats Gandaman and wins her for his elder brother. Gandaman knows of his imminent death and gives his strength to Bhim before his death, that it is Bhim and not Arjun who wins Draupadi. Another difference is Karan Arjun's meeting. The most touching and tearful moment in the Indonesian version is the Karn-Arjun meeting on the eve of Karna's first day as the commander-in-chief of Kaurva's army. Arjun secretly visits him. He has the most difficult moment in his life. Arjun suddenly stands in front of him, kneels and greets him respectfully and says clearly, "Please accept my sincere respect and Pandava's respect to you." Karn is deeply moved. His eyes are filled with tears. Arjun proposes to make him the emperor of Hastinapur and hopes that he will join them. They speak emotionally with each other and express love for each other. Finally, they decide to adhere to the Kshatriya duties and fight in next day's battle. Then they embrace each other again without a word and Arjun leaves with Karna's permission. Mahabharat in Thailand. Mahabharat came to Thailand with Brahmins via sea route and settled since 1st century. There are many findings in the form of inscriptions indicating the spread in Thailand. Incomplete inscriptions from Sangmyeong district say that Pandavas are referred to as the ideal instruction of warriors. In a Lavapur inscription of 10th century, there is an image of Vasudeva that is worshipped every day. Then there is a Khmer inscription which tells the story of King Suryavarman Dev, who changed the name of the town Vibhed to Kurulketra after Kurukshetra. The Wat Sechum inscription of Sukhothai kingdom says that Sri Sharadraj, a monk who was a prince to be Krishna and also Ram in his previous lives. The Phu Konchit Kunkot contains names of 3 heroes from Pandavas, that is Yudhishthir, Bhim and Arjun. Several poems and songs also give evidence of spread of Mahabharata in Thailand, like poems on the inscriptions of Krishna composed by Prince Vasuk and dramatic songs of Savitri composed by King Vajiravath. This is how Indian literature in the form of Mahabharata spread in various Southeast Asian countries. If you want to know the spread of Indian literature in various other forms, stay tuned. If you have liked the video, please like, share and subscribe. Thank you.